All right, everyone, welcome to framing or drawing a gable roof, part 2. So in part 1, we did the ridge board up here. We did the rafters, or also known as common rafters, and now we're going to finish it off. Okay, so to do the other side, first you just sort of repeat what you did on the first side, which is to take a tape measure and to follow these studs up. Okay, so I'm just going to follow these first two up. I'm going to take this common rafter and I'm going to copy it over. So, I have to select it. There we go. So I've selected it and I move it over like that. And the first one and the second one. And after I do the second one, then I go times, I'm going to go 12 in this case. Okay, so times 12, and that gives you all these rafters, and I just have to grab this end one here. Oops. I have to grab the end one, and I have to place it on the building like, I'm going to grab it there, move it in, and put it there. Okay. So that's two sides almost complete, and now what I have to do is I have to bring a rafter, sort of a floating rafter. I have to bring a rafter out. I have to bring these two end rafters out on both ends, copy them over. Oh, this one, I have to move this one here. Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay, so I'm moving that one. There we go. Now I'm going to go up to the ridge, okay, the ridge board, and I'm going to take these two rafters and I'm going to copy them out. So watch how I do this. I'm going to select two things. I select that, then I hold the shift key down and I select the other one. And now I'm going to move copy both at the same time. So I'm going to take this, move it, and copy it at the same time, and just move them to the end like that, okay? So they kind of look like they're floating in midair right now. So I'm doing it there, and then now what I have to do is I just have to close off the bird's mouth. So the bird's mouth is that little cut there. Okay, so I'm going to close that off. Double click, draw a line like this, draw it on this side, and then draw it on this side, and that closes it off. And then you can take the eraser if you want to get rid of those unsightly lines. And there we go. Okay. And I'll do it to the other rafter as well. So let's go over to this one and get rid of the bird's mouth here. So double click and use the line tool. Okay, go inside there, and then use the eraser tool to get rid of those lines. I'm not going to worry about the lines on the other side right now. Okay, and that gives us sort of more of a finished rafter on the end. And now I'm going to take those two that I just closed that off. 1, 2. So you see how I selected those? I clicked 1, and then I held the shift key down. Okay, so I'm going to take those two, and I'm going to copy them and put them at the other end. So I'm going to grab it right there, and I'm going to move and copy them. Okay, down to the other end, like that. Okay, one more thing to do. Pardon me. One more thing to do, so we're going to put what's called the fascia board on here. The fascia board is just like a 2x6 that runs along here. So I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to click there, and whoops, then I pull that out. Okay, pull it out 1.5, 1.5 inches. Just like everything else. And now I said it's a 2x6, okay? So let's go measure it and make sure it's the right width. Okay, hang on, I'm going to go in here. So I'm going to click here, come down 5.5, 5.5 inches, and it is, okay? Now, one last little thing here, okay? So I'm going to, now I have to copy it to the other side. I'm going to make it a group, okay? Now look at how this sits on the building. Okay, you see how that creates a kind of a bump in the roof. So if you put plywood, if you wanted to put plywood on the building, the plywood would not sit flat because there's a bump here, there's a step. So what we have to do is I'm going to take the tape measure, double click on this line, 1, 2, okay, like that. Now I'm going to move. I'm actually going to take this fascia right here, click it, move it down onto that dotted line, like that. Okay. Now, if you put I know it looks a little strange. It looks like it's not lined up, but it actually is. Okay, and this is how they do it. So now, if I put plywood, if I put plywood when I put plywood on the roof, it's going to sit flat, and I can get the nail in right along that outside edge. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm just going to copy it over to the other side because we need 2 fascias here. So I'm going to go in here and move it over to the other side. Now, how am I going to line it up? How am I going to get the same alignment? Watch this. I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to double click, bang, bang, like that. That sends a dotted line to the other side. And then I can take this, copy it, okay, copy and move it over to the other side and place it. Where's that dotted line I just made? There's that dotted line I just made. Right there. Whoa. Okay, there we go. Put it right there. And that, my friends, is that. Now, there's a few other things too that would go into here. That's as far as I want to take it. Okay? That doesn't mean the building is complete, but this gives you a really good idea of how this building goes together. And that is how to draw a gable roof part 2. Thank you very much.